we were having dinner up at your place, and you started telling the story of your car accident in London, which caused us to have to go back in and open up the recording studio and put it in, because it was just too good to leave out. And I'm going to indulge me here. Will you tell that story to these folks?
Oh, man.
How many of you folks have heard Break Shot? So just think of this as you like the album, now you're going to the concert.
Unless there's a bunch of one-handed people out there, I don't. Maybe about a third, I'd say. Yeah, I had a car in London. I had an English Ford, Cortina, and it was my heart's delight, and I drove it everywhere. The traffic in London was it was negligible in 1968. And one morning I was driving up behind a street in southwest London, but actually behind Knightsbridge in Kensington, and I was just accelerating up the street, and I think I was going from second to third, going faster than I should. And I was passing a box truck that was on my right, large lorry, and a guy jumped out from behind the truck. There was no way for me to see him, and basically before he himself had hit the ground, I hit him. I hit the brakes at the same time, but I hit him hard. And he bounced and skidded and ended up in the gutter with his head sort of bent next to the curb like this, not making a sound of movement, just basically unplugged. And so I was terrified. I got out of the car. I ran over towards him, and just at that moment, I was saying to myself, well, this is it. This is with after such a stroke of great luck to have been able to make my first album for Apple Records when everything looked so sunny and so good. It's all over. This is it. I've killed someone with my car. And besides, I was holding drugs and works, and I just come from scoring. Once the police, looked me over, I was finished. I knew this, and there was no way I could drive away from it. It's just the hit and run thing is impossible. Take it from me. I don't know. Anyway, so it was just sort of dawning on me that this was really a serious end to everything, including this poor bastard who I'd just run into. When a cop came from behind me and said, "Thank God you got him, sir. Thank God you hit him," And I was sort of I was amazed. I said, but he can't be alive. I said, "We've been chasing that guy for about 10 blocks." And he was disheveled. I noticed that the guy actually had been wearing this policeman's helmet, which was also in the street, and he had been carrying that policeman's nightstick. He beat the policeman up, took his nightstick and his helmet, and he had gone down the Brompton Road, which was on the other side of Knightsbridge, breaking windows and singing a lilting Gaelic tune. And right away, a radio car pulled up too with some senior police officers in it, and I'm just like, oh Jesus. And I said, but what about this guy? And they walked over to him. There was a van that pulled up. They walked over, and as they picked this guy up out of the street, he opened one eye and looked up at me like this, and he said, "You fucker." My luck's turned bad. That's great. It was the, there have been other close calls like that too. But that was a good one. Yeah.
This is going to be James' next Audible project, Crimes I Got Away With.